Matt Walsh destroyed a trans activist. She is completely brainwashed. She knows her arguments are falling to pieces, and that's why she gets emotional after the initial vetting. That's exactly what we're going to dissect with you.
So you've talked a lot about the mental illness and depressed and anxious population in the trans community, but you don't talk about the happy people in the trans community and how these preventative measures of, let's say, like puberty and the surgeries that go for gender affirmation and how these are life-changing and life-saving. I know many people...
How do you know?
Oh, okay, 1 second, if I can finish my conversation.
Okay.
Many people in my life have had these interventions made, and it's saved their lives. I can list dozens of people in my life. So what do you have to say for...
And so, she claims that surgeries save lives and change lives. It's pretty interesting exactly what she meant by that. She says a lot of people have had interventions, and she knows a lot of people who have had interventions. But honestly, I think that's a lie and just wants to bash Matt Walsh. Let's hear how he responded to her.
You can list dozens of people who had surgeries and drugs as children and would be dead today if they hadn't?
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Dozens of people who have had interventions, including gender affirming, let's say therapies, yes, hormones, surgeries, that have made their lives better. I'm not saying it didn't force them to commit suicide, but it made their lives better. What do you have to say for the happy trans community?
You know why he doesn't talk about a happy trans community. Rare few people who have undergone surgery and complete sex change are happy about it. Nowadays, we see more often such people, but I will personally say this. Personally, in my opinion, this joy does not last long. But the realization that you are made lasts for the rest of your life, and this is the other side of their happy community.
I guess I would throw back at you first, because the burden of proof is on you on this one. And I'll explain why the burden of proof is on you. Because, as I went over in the talk, for thousands of years, human beings existed, and there was no such thing as trying to medically transition people into another gender. And as far as we know, there was no suicide epidemic because of it. And then in the last few years, people like yourself have come along and said, we desperately need to do this, or people will be in despair and they might kill themselves. So you are making a claim that contradicts common sense, science, biology, also the entire experience of the whole history of the human race. And so what that means is that the burden of proof is on you to support it. And so I'm going to ask you, you said that people need this stuff so they can live happier lives and potentially it'd be life-saving, you said even. Aside from your anecdotes of your friends who told you so, how do you know that?
You know he is in a strong position to state the true facts. It didn't used to be that way, and there was no problem. Let's just hear what she has to say. I'm interested.
Okay, so thinking back to when I was 16 in an anatomy class, when I learned that transgender people tend to have the brain structure that confirms their identity that they identify with. And you can look that up. That's a fact.
I will look that up.
Yeah, it's a fact.
I will look that up and I won't find it.
Yeah.
It's not a fact.
Oh,
it's not a fact.
Should we all pull out Google really quick and look?
So you're saying a trans man has the brain of a woman?
No. I'm saying that a trans man who identifies as a man will tend to have similar brain structure that a cis man would.
And where did you get that from?
Look it up. It's literally, I'm telling you, I learned it from my anatomy class when I was 16. And I looked up the fact before I walked up here because I knew that you would ask.
Okay.
So she has read information on the internet and is trying to prove to a specialist that she is right and an expert in the field. She has been abused by those who pretend to be her carers and mentors. That's the cause of her problems, and it ends and starts there.
I don't think I claimed that every child would benefit from that.
Well, no, I didn't say you did. You said puberty blockers are. You said puberty blockers are life-saving. What evidence do you have for that?
They can be. The evidence is the encounters with patients who have had these procedures done, and it has saved their, I don't want to say it saved their lives, but it has made their lives better. I can't confirm whether or not they're alive right this second, but there are children that it has helped. So what do you have to say for the happy trans community who has benefited from these procedures? That's my question
I guess what I have
for
to
you.
say is that your entire question is built on a whole stack of false premises that you can't begin to even remotely defend. So it's a faulty question from the start. I reject your premise. I absolutely reject that there are any kids who need to be chemically castrated in order to be happy.
Okay, let's...
Matt Walsh was right and accurately figured out her problem. She couldn't defend what she had read on the internet and was talking rubbish. That's the truth. She simply agreed and ran away quickly. What do you think about that? Write your opinion in the comments and don't forget to watch other shocking news on the channel.